Hey there, fellow comic book aficionados. Welcome back. David Eon here with another virtual video tour. And this time we are looking at the superhero merchandise catalog. The superhero merchandise catalog circa 1976. And it is effectively a comic book, even though there are no comics inside of this. There's no stories in here. It's literally advertisements. It's all those advertisements that you used to see in comic books, all in one comic, put out by a company called Superhero Enterprises that manufactured both Marvel and DC merchandise. And you see a selection of things here, both by Marvel and by DC, all on the cover. So if it's Marvel or DC related merchandise, it's going to be in here. And this is something that was done in the 70s, as we'll start to run through here. This is something that was done in the 70s as a catalog that would be essentially given away for advertisement purposes. There is no price on this book. It was a free thing. And it's technically a Marvel comic because Marvel, I believe, is the ones who printed these for Superhero Enterprises, and they are not numbered either. This is the 1976 edition, and I believe they made about a half a dozen different ones during the 1970s. As we look through here, you see Dear Superheroine. They said man couldn't reach the moon, but it happened. They said the Lindbergh couldn't cross the Atlantic, but it happened, on and on and on. I'll let you go ahead and read some of that if you want to. Again, this has no number. It's just essentially the 1976 edition, and it's all Marvel and DC related merchandise that are in this catalog. See here the famous squirters, gliders, the motorcycles, some DC and a Marvel motorcycle, the gyro-powered motorcycles. I believe those are the ones that would have a ripcord. Spider-Man copter, foam dart game. You get the idea. There's a lot of cool stuff on here. There's a Batman version of the same spinning copter. All a variety of Marvel and DC merchandise throughout this book. And this is not in the best physical condition. This one's kind of raggedy, but it is rare. If you were to go on eBay, there might be upwards of a dozen books from the superhero merchandise catalog category from different years in the 70s, but they're not going to go for a lot. This one's probably worth $5 in this condition. You might find a really excellent copy for $30. So we're not talking about, even though it's very rare, we're not talking about like Hulk 181 here. Look at this, life-size movable hang-ups. Do you remember these? Marvel and DC, and they had the jointing, and you could put them on the wall. It says $3.50 plus 75 cents postage and handling. Wow, I would love to get some of these. That is awesome. And mighty Marvel mirrors. This looks like carnival prize kind of stuff, the mirrors. But again, you know, this type of merchandise, a lot of people have forgotten that this stuff even existed. I know a lot of people get very nostalgic when they flip through these catalogs. Or they flip through, rather, the comics and they see these ads and they're like, oh, I wanted that, or I had that. Things like this. And I never had any of this stuff. I never had any of this stuff because I never had any money. So if there was something in a comic book that I wanted, there was no way I was going to be able to order any of it. Snap together model kits, Spidey web shooter, and it shoots these little suction cup gliders. Cool stuff. Horror Film Festival, it says. 12 fright-filled minutes of sheer excitement, like Super 8 little film reels. So you see they have some monster merchandising in here as well. There's Mego. There's your original Mego. Mego DC superheroes, Marvel superheroes, Batcycle and Batcopter, Batmobile. Look at all that stuff. More Marvel characters, the vans, the Star Trek playset, Starship Enterprise model $17.95 and $1.50 postage and handling. Star Trek figures $3.98 each. They're more expensive because these figures are $3.79. See what it says here? It says each doll $3.79 and 59 cents postage and handling. So Star Trek was a bigger license. Go figure. Those were the days though, right folks? I don't care too much for the modern Mego, but I love the vintage ones because they are nostalgic for me. Crazy Gizmos, battery operated dune buggy, a kite, Super Friends car, superhero banks, all kinds of like mostly junk, but a lot of cool toys also that I would love to have even now. Even now, look at the Batman toothbrush. Incredible. Superhero bike horn. See the little ring where you attach it to your bike? Remember when kids rode bikes? You remember that? Now only crackheads ride bikes. I'm kidding. Maybe not. Iron-on transfers. Make your own superhero shirts, it says. Complete kit without the t-shirt or iron. I love that. Without t-shirt or iron. You're on your own, kid, with that part. Incredible. Puzzles. Biggest rock event of the decade, it says. If you must buy only one rock album this year, be sure the cover includes John Romita's rendition of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Wow! I want that record. I'm going to go nuts even just looking through this, and I've already been through this catalog. Here, a Hero. Enjoy scintillating, power-packed audio adventures of your favorite superheroes for $1.49. Comic book savers. Comic book binders to keep your comics in. And this is as close as you got in the Bronze Age to preserving your books because people weren't really bagging and boarding then. T-shirts, Marvel. Classic Marvel t-shirts. Look at this. Excelsior. Stan Lee. For your very own, it says. More t-shirts. Marvel and DC. Star Trek again. These vintage t-shirts are hard to find too. Everything in this catalog is actually tough to come by nowadays, especially in original condition. And you see that centerfold is detached on here. This is, again, not a high-grade book at all. In this shape, it's probably worth like $5. Superhero belts, and I remember these. Belts, belt buckles. That's incredible. Beach towels, sweatshirts. Yeah, there's many things in here that I would love to have even now. Just for the sake of having it. Sleeping bag. Superhero sleeping bag. That's incredible. $18.95 and $1.50 for the postage for the sleeping bag. Watches. Those are very rudimentary looking watches, those. Pillows. The return of the power-packed pillows at long last. $2 each and 39 cents for postage. Marvel mood rings. That's neat. And of course they got to show the Mandarin. Makes sense to me. It says all mood rings are made of silver-plated metal, are fully adjustable to fit any finger. In other words, when they say fully adjustable, they mean that it's cut out on the bottom. You see that? So that you should be able to get your fat sausage finger in there, hopefully, without cutting off your circulation. Poster parade. See a lot of DC posters and a banner. A lot of these are tough to find now. The pendants. And that's $1.30 for postage. Batman and Robin pennant. Incredible. Posters, $1.50 and 50 for postage. That's amazing. If you hear trampling in the background, the cats are chasing each other. I don't think it says, unless I missed it. But it looks like mostly DC titles, although I do see Dick Tracy and I do see Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Still, that'd be nice to have. Most likely it's going to be in a square-bound comic book form. Not sure if these are hardback or softback. For $1.50, I'm going to assume it's soft. Calendars. The 1976 calendar. Origin books. Son of Origins, Mighty Marvel calendar, 1976, and you see the stars and stripes. That's pretty cool, actually, because that is, let me close up on that so you can see it more clearly, that one. That was the bicentennial year, so that image makes perfect sense. Well played, Marvel. DC didn't think of that. Marvel Madness Fun Book. Comic art books. Mighty Marvel Treasuries. Look at that. Land of Oz. Marvel had the Land of Oz? I don't remember. Wizard of Oz. They must have. They must have had the rights. Art of Neil Adams. Frazetta. Nice. The Monsters Color the Creature book. Vintage coloring books are tough to find in decent shape as well. And the World of Super Games, including Space 1999. Look at this. And that was Charlton's license. Viewmaster, the Big Bucket. Board games. That's cool. Watercolor painting sets, that's what those are, by the way. And here's your order forms for selecting your merchandise and instructions on how to fill it out right there, in case you're a complete knucklehead, which most kids probably were. Obviously, this order form was never used. The other side of the order form, and back issue bonanza, and I guess through here you can order some of your unwanted back issues. I don't know about you, but I want pretty much everything in the picture. And then you take a look at some of these prices. Can you imagine if you could go back in time and just grab some of this stuff? Vampire Tales #1, $3. Dracula Lives #3, $2.50. Masters of Terror #1, $2.50. Doc Savage #1, $3. Incredible. Savage Sword of Conan #5, $3.50. Crazy #2, $3. Nostalgia #1, $3. Planet of the Apes #1, $3.50. I'll take those all day. And then there's your back cover, which has some more ads. Superhero flashlights, no batteries required, because it's one of those friction ones. So you gotta squeeze it, and you know those make a lot of noise. Batman clock. I saw one of these at a show just recently. And blacklight posters, fantastic. Tuck that back in as my centerfold popping out, because it's not attached, obviously. But geez, have you ever seen one of these catalogs, guys? Did you ever know that these even existed? Again, if you wanted to pick one up for yourself, they are rare, but they're not expensive. Because again, this is not something most people are looking for. If I had one in flawless condition, I might get it graded just for the historical aspect of it. And it's the history of this that really draws me to it. You remember these ads from when you were a kid? Did you have any of this stuff? Did you want any of this stuff? I saw plenty of things here that I would have loved to have had. With the superhero drinking cups. It's kind of reminiscent of the 7-Eleven cups there. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section down below. Please do give the video a thumbs up if you got something out of this. I hope that you did. Share it if you can. Subscribe if you're new. All that good stuff. And if that's it, then what more can I say but thanks for watching. And we will see you again soon.